you comfortable. You know you scared. Look at them shivering, Molly. Look at them shivering, Molly.
Here now.
I don't know.
What
It looks pretty cool to me.
All right. Pastor Spears in the house with Stephen A.
Good day. Welcome into First Take. Thank you so much for being with us. We are back at it again, Mr. Smith.
Molly.
How are we doing? How
Molly.
are we feeling? It's me
What's
and
going-
you,
That's
but
right.
they keep changing.
It's always me and you. They
But
keep
they keep
changing.
rotating.
Listen.
Yeah.
You can't deal with me every day. You need time to recover. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
He needed a week. Swaggo
That's
needed
true.
a week to be ready to
That's
get
true.
himself up for this rematch.
I
What's
was
up,
ready
big
the
boy?
next day. I was
What's
ready
up,
the
big boy?
next day. What's up, family? Y'all looking good in there too, man.
We
Thank
trying. It's nice to see that you raised your chair up. You know, pastors speak, above the fray, and you were a little bit low.
Yeah.
So it's good to see you higher in your chair now. Congratulations.
Well, you called me Pastor Spears, and I brought my congregation today. So you sit down and be ready to say hallelujah. Let's go.
Hallelujah. Let's go.
And,
Let's go.
and send prayers for your girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Plus, it's HBCU Wednesday, so that's where we spotlight a historically black college or university each week. Stephen A's ambassador of HBCUs. He went to one today. We celebrate Texas Southern University. We'll be checking in on campus all show long.
Absolutely. And I always just want to remind the audience, it's been a change at First Take. As I've been saying,
you know what?
every
Let's
day.
get to that
Fine.
after. Let me roll through this. We had 9 upsets in week 1, but one of the most surprising was certainly Jameis Winston taking care of the football better than Aaron Rodgers, now playing him 38-3, a beatdown of the Packers in New Orleans. Rodgers, 0 TDs, but 2 interceptions. Let's check in with that bad man.
A game like that allows all these speculation to come into play. Should we have played in the preseason? Should we have done this? Should we have done that? And we got to deal with it because we just got our whooped. That's fine. But what's going to happen down the line is going to happen, and we know how this thing goes. It's a cycle, and right now we're taking on the chin, which we should, and pretty soon it'll be flipped. So.
Hell yeah.
But me personally, I'm doing great. I'm confident and happy and excited and love these guys. It might be a freak out outside of the facility. I think it's just it's a good learning lesson for us. We can't play like that. We can't start a game like that. I feel like I said after the game, our energy level was a little bit low before the game. We got to do a better job responding to adversity.
McAfee in the tank. Stephen A., are you concerned about Rodgers and the Packers? Because I know he's cool and mellow, but was that a little too mellow?
I'm not concerned, to be honest with you. I really am not concerned. But before I get into all of that, I wanted to apologize to the rough start. That was my fault, not Molly's. I wanted to make sure to remind everybody you got a rotating slew of contributors.
The changes here in
and
First
all
Take.
of that stuff. The changes here on First Take. Swagoo's in every week. Keyshawn's every week. Michael Irvin's every week. Tim Tebow's every week. Darren Orlovsky will be in every week. Jeff Saturday. Dominique Foxworth. Ryan Clark.
Martin,
Kimberly
Mina
Martin.
Kimes.
Mina Kimes was very cruel to me yesterday. But I'll
She was good.
Getting all of that.
She was
She's
good.
very
How
cruel.
about when she said she's going to take her jewelry off?
Just to beat down,
She
took her
was not
jewelry
playing
off.
around.
I was like, Lord.
No, you know what's the best? I gotta say one more
Lord.
thing. You go Bills Steelers game. She's like, oh, I watched that one twice.
Ain't that something?
Twice.
Ain't that something? I only needed to watch it once. I know what I saw. But here's the deal. I just want to let everybody know in the world of sports and entertainment that chair is open. Feel free to come here anytime you want. Now let me get to this Aaron Rodgers thing. I will reiterate what I said Monday, Swaggo. It was the most atrocious performance of Aaron Rodgers' career. It was horrible. And what was worse is that he looked as if he didn't even care. And being on Pat McAfee, by the way, he has a great show, and we all love Pat McAfee, all right? He has a great, great show. I listen to it every chance I get, and I love the relationship that he's got with Aaron Rodgers. I will say this. Aaron Rodgers is the dude that said in the past, relax, R-E-L-A-X, relax, and then went out and showed you why you needed to relax. And so, although it was an atrocious performance, although I was incredibly disappointed, although there was something missing from that bad man that I am accustomed to seeing, he is that bad man. He is that dude. And if there is one person that can get me to go like this after a performance like that, it's going to be all right. It's Aaron Rodgers. This brother is something special. One of the greatest quarterbacks to have ever graced the gridiron. This dude had an awful week, awful training camp as far as I'm concerned because of all the distractions of the offseason. But in the end, he is Aaron freaking Rodgers, a guy with a 126, 64, and 1 record as a starter, a career 65% passer, who's thrown for over 51,000 yards already, okay? This brother has 412 touchdowns to 91 interceptions. That is a better than 4-to-1 TD to interception ratio. He is elite. He's the creme de la creme. I believe in him, and I believe that Sunday was just strictly an aberration, and I don't believe we will see a performance like that. Not only again this season, but again in his career. He will never look as bad as he looked Monday again.
Well, I'm glad you talked to your therapist about it then, because you're still trying to convince your damn self that you ain't concerned about it. Look, nobody's concerned about Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback and if he'll play well. I'm concerned about how they look because of this offseason and the leader being the reason why all of this turmoil was going on in the offseason. And Aaron Rodgers is cool, calm, and collected because Aaron Rodgers don't have to worry about his football career or what he wants to do. He controls his own narrative. So it's cool. It's easy to go on Pat McAfee's show and say, everybody calm down. Listen, coming into this season, we were talking about the Green Bay Packers last dance championship. We were not talking about winning games and it'll be okay later. This infiltrated throughout the entire game. When you look at week 1 against the New Orleans Saints, starting a quarterback, might I add, that you didn't think was going to play well, but we'll get to that later, 38-3. And if anybody that's associated with TV, associated with football, associated with preparation, don't think that this offseason had something to do with it and it shouldn't be concerned, you are out of your mind based on what we've been watching. Nobody's questioning if Aaron Rodgers is going to be a better quarterback than he was in week 1 for the Green Bay Packers. But does that equate to wins? Because ultimately, that's what we're talking about. Like, you think this team is a Super Bowl contender. I thought they were Super Bowl contenders.
Thought. Past tense, Marcus.
That is past tense. Because
you say you no longer feel that way?
No, they have to reassert themselves. I watched the Rams play. I watched the Saints beat them 38-3. I watched Tampa play. I watched Dallas play. This ain't the same damn road that they gonna have to take that they took last year.
That's blasphemous. That's blasphemous.
Have you looked at the NFC West? Have you looked at the NFC West? Okay.
It's 1 week.
I have.
It's 1 week.
I'm not
It's
freaking
1
out.
week.
I'm not freaking out about 1 week. What I'm talking about is other teams didn't have these circumstances coming into the season. Stephen A., let me ask you a question. Who did you pick to win this game?
I picked Green Bay to win this
Why?
game. Because of Aaron Rodgers versus Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdowns and Aaron Rodgers threw none. And you going to sit on this show and say you don't have any concern? Aaron Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. That's reality. I don't need to boost Aaron Rodgers up. You talk about him being a bad man. Everybody understands who Aaron Rodgers is. 38-3 is acceptable based on what you're saying because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. If this was anybody else or any other team that had this particular offseason, you would be more concerned about a week 1 performance like this if it wasn't Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on. Let me correct you on that. I would not be concerned if it were Tom Brady. I would not be concerned if it were Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not going to be concerned that it's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got blitzed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the middle of the season last year. They got romped. I know the final score wasn't indicative of how lopsided it was, but they were losing by about this much last year when they rolled into Tampa. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they got trounced, and we understand that. But in the end, what I'm saying to you is this. Because it's Aaron Rodgers. And it's not Aaron Rodgers with new weapons. Valdez Marcus, Scantling, he's still there. Randall Cobb is back. Devontae Adams is there. Aaron Jones is in the backfield. Familiar faces that you are accustomed to working with, okay, who have produced for you in the past, who we all know can be studs, are still there with you. So when I think about the leader being Aaron Rodgers and you get trounced, am I expecting intestinal fortitude to kick in? Some pride? Something that says, let me remind these people who the hell I am? Yes, I am. And that's why, to me, it's about Aaron Rodgers as opposed to the Green Bay Packers. If it were a bunch of new faces, I got you. But the fact that the same faces are there is why I firmly believe that Aaron Rodgers would make amends for that abominable performance that he put forth this past Sunday.
Let me ask you something. Is he going to be out there on defense?
No.
Okay, so you have a team that went through all of this in the offseason, and they come. Everybody loves to praise the quarterback when it's success, right? Like think about the opposite flip side. We're talking about Jameis Winston, how well he played and all of it. Everybody loves that. Aaron Rodgers, would you agree that Aaron Rodgers is the unquestioned leader of this football team?
Yes.
So do you have no concern based on all of these guys that are looking at Aaron Rodgers as the leader of this football team, and they came out and performed like this with the expectations and the type of urgency that they need to be under, knowing that he might not be there next year?
Let me put it to you this way. If Marcus Spears finds himself in a competitive platform, right, and you lose a tough-minded game, you lose a hard-fought, tough game, right, I believe that I would see a different Marcus Spears the next week compared to somebody if Marcus Spears got his butt whipped. All of a sudden, I think there's some intestinal pride. Now, if Aaron Rodgers loses to New Orleans, and let's say, for example, New Orleans scored 31, they lose 38-31. I actually would have had more concerns. The fact that they got romped, and the question is, we're concerned about Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying that, brother, right there. That's why you on with Pat McAfee. That's why you talking, because everybody's like, yo, what the hell happened to you? We understand what happened to the team because we understand this. But what happened to you? Because we ain't accustomed to seeing that. And I believe Aaron Rodgers has got enough pride where he going to make amends for that because we know he's got the skills. We know he got the skills.
Well, no, I'm not in disagreement that he gonna try to bounce back and have pride about his job. What I'm saying is I'm concerned because an Aaron Rodgers-led football team ain't supposed to lose 38-3 to a quarterback that ain't played in 2 years.
It ain't gonna happen again. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That ain't gonna
Usually he always bounces back in these type of situations.
Yeah.
If this week he does not, then there might be some panic for Mr. Smith. He had 5 interceptions all of last season. He had 2 against the Bucs. That was week 6. So before this week 1 matchup, almost everybody would have guessed these numbers would have been flip-flopped how it went down. But Marcus, take it in. You were right, and we were all wrong. You were high on the Saints, and you said Jameis was going to be great this season. You said it multiple times. Let's flash back.
Whoever got together and decided, you know what? You're going to go to New Orleans, you're going to sit down for a year or two, and you're going to watch a professional that's done it at the highest level than most people, and you're going to become a better quarterback. And I've already seen that pay dividends for Jameis Winston. Yes, he's going to resurrect his career, and Sean Payton going to see to it that he does.
Okay. Before I make my point, I need clarification. Resurrect his career.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Become a top 10 level starter in the NFL.
Top 10?
Yep.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's ridiculous.
Go ahead and say what you're going to say, and we're going to talk.
Top 10 starter in the NFL. Who would like to go first here?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Marcus, tell me this. What is the ceiling, Marcus, for Jameis this season? Especially
whoa.
What?
Oh, the floor is mine?
How dare him?
The floor is mine?
Hold on. How dare him have a cup of coffee or tea to drink? What does he think he do? I'm the only person that gets to do that on this show. Who do you think you are?
Well,
who do you think you are?
Well, you're not the only person when you're wrong. Like you asked Molly about UConn, why? I asked you why didn't you believe me about Jameis Winston? You didn't want to believe me, and I told you because I have sources, Stephen A. Like you have all your sources, I have sources as well. Listen, man, I was so excited about his performance. I love y'all. I was so excited about his performance, man, because this is exactly the conversation that I had with Sean Payton about the possibility of what Jameis could be in his offense with a great understanding about how to play the position and not always being in a hurry, being rushed, just letting the game unfold how it will. And you look at these numbers, 14 for 20, 148, 5 touchdowns, right? We focus on the 5 touchdowns. But the bottom line is efficiency was attached to Jameis Winston's name week 1 of this season, and that's something we've never said about him in his entire career, is that Jameis Winston was efficient. right? He missed 6 passes. Jameis Winston played a phenomenal football game. No, it don't show up as 300 yards passing, and it set like all of the stuff that you want to see from a volume standpoint when it comes to yardage and the amount of throws. But 5 touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers ain't nothing to sneeze at, because the team that Stephen A is not concerned about gave up 5 TDs to a quarterback that hadn't played in a while. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, and you believe it or not, you laugh or not, but we're going to also be together for Wednesdays upon Wednesdays upon Wednesdays. Jameis Winston will be hovering around the MVP conversation by the end of the season. Put it down. Yes, I said it. What's today, Molly? What's today?
Today is
September 15th.
September
15th at 10:16 a.m. here on the East Coast. Swagoo said that Jameis Winston will be in the MVP conversation by season's end.
I'm marking it down.
Yep.
You know something? I'm trying to figure out, how did y'all reach the conclusion that Swagoo was right? I still don't feel you right.
Steven, you can't do that today.
Hold on. Yes, I can.
You can.
Hold on. Listen, I took the liberty of looking up Jameis Winston, okay? Jameis Winston has been in the National Football League for 7 years. And by the way, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I'm rooting for him, okay? And I do not believe he is a scrub, okay? He can play national champ. I mean, this dude, national champ, Heisman Trophy winner, the whole 9. I know who Jameis Winston is. Let me be very, very clear about something. Jameis Winston has, I mean, he has started at quarterback 71 games. He's played in 77 games. One game, and all of a sudden, we gonna sit up here and talk about him as an MVP.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
What?
Don't you do that.
What game?
Don't do that.
I mean, look, hold on, wait. What am I missing? Now listen, this is the dangerous part. Let me tell you something right now. Every day they come up here. Michael Irvin shows up. Keyshawn shows up. He bring Jeff Saturday, and Mina Kimes ain't even due to come on the segment, Swagoo. And she comes in, okay? You here today. Bart Scott coming in. Then Rex Ryan gonna come in, to knowing him. I mean, the list goes on and on.
This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted.
No, I'm loving it. I'm not complaining. I'm simply pointing out, here's the part that y'all are missing. No. See, y'all get to watch me here on First Take. But that's it. Then after that, I got my Stephen A's World. I got my NBA stuff. Y'all are talking NFL. I got all the footage. Molly. They can't escape. They know it. They can't escape. I'm watching all of y'all. And so you going to tell me, you know how many times Swagoo has been on the air going like this? What the hell wrong with y'all? Is this a good imitation, Molly? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Who gives a damn about one game? I mean, it's just one game.
No.
Who doesn't do that?
This is why I cannot let you do this today.
Sure,
and Marcus,
please,
I know
Molly.
you'll jump in.
Sure.
This is exactly why.
Okay.
Because we've talked about Jameis Winston. The question was never his arm. It was taking care of the football. It was that 30-30 club, which you brought up so many different times. Stephen A. He had 5 TDs, 0 interceptions. The thing we talked about with Marcus, and I followed up with you about this when you said, no, I think he's going to be different this time. I think the Saints are going to be good. There's no Michael Thomas. We all kind of hee-heed at you, is the fact that he was able to take care of the football. That was the concern with him. He had the talent. He had no interceptions. Aaron Rodgers had 2. And no, let me add one more thing. I know the Packers defense didn't look that great, but this is a team we're saying that has a shot to go to the Super Bowl. We said it's Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl or bust this year. They go up against that defense, and that's what Jameis did. We saw a different Jameis, and we have to give him props. And Marcus was the only one who was saying that.
Say your piece, sir. Say your piece.
Are you finished?
Yeah.
Finished, Molly? Did you get that off your chest?
Yeah, I needed to.
It almost sounded like you was talking about UConn. It didn't sound like she was talking about UConn.
Don't digress. Stay focused.
I'm just saying, Molly. I'm just saying. Time out. Molly?
I'm not going to let you do that.
Molly?
Yeah?
The question is about Jameis Winston MVP consideration. Every single word you just uttered out of your mouth is absolutely on point. For one game. All I said was, last time I checked, there's 16 to go. And what I'm trying to say to you is that I heard Swagoo, because Swagoo knows his football now. I know he was contaminated by being a Dallas Cowboy for some time, but damn it, he knows his football. And here's the reality of the situation. That same dude is going like this. I'm not going to get excited about one damn game. It's a whole season. Let's see what they do. But now that it comes to his prediction and he wants to validate it, and he's buffered. He's buffered by Molly Karen Rose. Oh, all of a sudden, we're going to just accept the fact, excuse me, it's still one
But we didn't
game.
even know that was possible. We didn't even know it was possible for him to do 5 TDs and 0 interceptions.
Molly,
Go ahead, Marcus.
Molly, he fighting. He in the Hudson right now. He in the Hudson right now trying to get his head above water.
Well, actually, it's the East River. It's the East River. The Hudson's on the west side.
I don't care where it's at. That's where you're at. You're trying to get your head above water right now. Listen, this for me, like in all seriousness, Molly, what you said is absolutely poignant. And Stephen A., you know this because you and I talk football a lot. Jameis Winston is under Sean Payton's tutelage, man. And Jameis Winston was never afforded this opportunity in Tampa. People talk about all of the interceptions. They talk about all of the things that Jameis Winston didn't do well. And I highlight to people as well, I'm going to be harsh about 30 interceptions. Who wouldn't be when we covering the game? But I'm also acknowledged that he threw for 5,130 touchdowns that same season. So it ain't like I'm saying something about Jameis, even prior to them playing against the Green Bay Packers. It ain't something I'm saying about Jameis Winston that I haven't seen. I've seen Jameis Winston's ceiling. His ceiling is as high as anybody's in the NFL. Sean Payton is going to see to it that he don't turn the football over. So I'm taking that equation, and I'm thinking about the end of this season, and I'm thinking about Michael Thomas not being there as well, who's going to be implemented at some point throughout this season. And Jameis Winston turns down interceptions and turnovers. He'll be in the conversation, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, listen. And all I'm saying is I got to see it to believe it, and there's nothing wrong with me taking that position. I respect the hell out of Jameis Winston. I have profound respect for the greatness of Sean Payton.
No doubt.
I know the New Orleans Saints are no joke. They spanked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice last year. We saw what they just did to the Green Bay Packers. I understand that. All I'm saying is that I have a resume. I am consistent with that. I have a resume that I'm looking at, Molly, that spans 6, 7 different seasons. Jameis Winston, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th year. I'm watching, and I know what I've seen in the past. We know he can make big plays. Yeah. We know the brother's got an arm. We know he's got a lot of heart. He ain't scared of anything. He's got that moxie with him. You understand? He'll take chances. We also know he's been prone to mistakes in the past. If he's corrected that, fine. I'm good with it. There's nothing wrong with me saying I need to see it to believe it. And y'all got to make up y'all mind, Swagoo specifically, when it comes to this point. You just brought up Green Bay's defense. Well, who the hell did they go against? Everybody ain't New Orleans based on what you described. If Jameis Winston is that dude, and we know Sean Payton to be that dude, and Alvin Kamara, we know him to be that dude. And then on top of it all, here you come with Michael Thomas coming down the pike in several weeks once he comes off that PUP list. The bottom line is that we shall see. And if we're looking at the Saints and giving them the respect that they duly deserve, then we got to recognize the fact that we might not need to point the finger at Green Bay's defense. They might have just went against a juggernaut who's the Super Bowl contender. We got to make up our minds. We got to make up our minds.
All right, we got to leave it there. But I was just impressed. I even saw it for one.
See, is an influx of former NFL players becoming coaches at HBCUs. And I think that's an incredibly, incredibly big deal. When you open up those floodgates, obviously, if you get those kind of quality coaches there, then what you're going to get is young men that want to go and play for them. And that's going to build the profile of HBCUs even more so. It will assist in that cause. That's my answer to that question.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I can add a little bit to that, if you look at Deion's staff, it's all former Baltimore Ravens staff. So really what they're getting is they're getting an education from great experts that have had success at the league and know what it takes at the next level. When you talk about Dennis Thurman, when you talk about all the coaches that he brought over from the staff, they're getting quality education in football.
I appreciate that answer because him and Swagoo would know better than me.
It's tremendous, paying it forward. All right, there was big hype for 2 AFC teams to make serious noise this season. The Tennessee Titans, who acquired Julio Jones this offseason, and Josh Allen and those Buffalo Bills. However, they both took L's in week 1 at home. Buffalo at the hands of the Steelers, who don't have the most prolific offense, Stephen A. And Tennessee beat down by Kyler Murray in Arizona. Facts, so humbled, who just had their way with them 38-13. As you can see, Bart Scott here with us. And before we jump into this really quickly, I just want to mention Stephen A. and Marcus Spears obviously still here. So last time we were on the show, I don't know if you remember, you were getting on Bart for his attire, right? Because he's doing radio, things like that.
Hurt my feelings.
So he came, look at how he came today.
I'm ready for the Met Gala, man. I came tuxedo ready, man. I was waiting for the red carpet and the paparazzi. Where they at, Stephen A? Where they at? I pulled up today, baby. I pulled up.
Wow.
Sir, brother,
well, that is for you. So
I got you. It's impressive. I like it. I
Bart,
wouldn't
you
do
clean,
it,
Bart?
but I like it.
You couldn't do it, Stephen.
You are right. You are right.
Clean? He
That's
clean?
right. He clean. He clean. All of y'all clean. Y'all stepped up y'all game because y'all know what platform y'all on. I understand.
let's go. All right, Bart, you're up first. Are you more concerned with the Titans or the Bills?
I'm concerned with both, right? Because I believe right now they're a little fraudulent. Because listen, both of these teams and organizations were sold to us as Super Bowl contenders, as people that can maybe knock Kansas City off the top of the mountaintop. And then when I look at what's happening, and I look at really what happened, all the old bad habits started to show back up for Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 21 incompletions, right? You talk about going in to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I thought, pushed them around, defensively dictated the game. But my biggest issue and concern is with the Tennessee Titans, right? You talk about bringing Julio over, or Quintores is what I'm going to call him when you're doing dumb penalties, according to Vrabel. But you talk about the bullies getting bullied, right? You talk about Taylor DeWine, one of the strengths of that offensive line, giving up 5 sacks, going to social media saying, I'm sorry I represented the city of Tennessee like this. Right, but also Derrick King Henry. We all understand that sometimes when you have a back that gets as many carries as he's gotten that many times in 2 seasons, sometimes they fall off a cliff. Now, I'm not ready to dethrone King Henry, but I'm telling you, they got beat up, and that's their identity. And Vrabel's trying to replace Arthur Smith, which I think is really underrated. And when people consider what's going to happen, because coordinators are just as important as head coaches. Head coaches are CEOs, they are the supervisors, but really people who set the stage and set the game plan are the defensive coordinators. And I'm concerned with Tennessee because if they win the division, because it's a weak division, they're going to have to go against in a wild card, maybe Cleveland. They're going to have to go against maybe Baltimore, maybe even a team like the Miami Dolphins. And I think they're going to fall short.
Here's the inconsistency with your argument, Bart Scott.
Okay.
It is inconsistent. Here's the reason why.
Okay.
2 years ago when they went to the AFC Championship game, they had the 12th ranked defense. Last year they went to the wild card game, they had the 24th ranked defense. Now, obviously after week 1, they ranked 30th. They were pretty porous, and we get all of that. What I'm trying to say is over the last couple of years or so, we've all been looking at Vrabel, questioning what the hell is going on the defensive side of the ball. But we never went so far as to call them fraudulent. So I think that's a bit excessive, if I might dare say so, Bart Scott. I must admit.
Is it too harsh?
I think it's a little bit too harsh. I think it's a little bit too harsh. Because here's the reality of the situation. This team goes as your offense takes you, mainly Derrick Henry, who rushed for 2,027 yards last year, averaged 5.4 yards a carry. You acquire Julio Jones in the offseason. They got to get that together because when Vrabel went off on them the other day, guys, I'm here to tell you, that's based off of frustration in training camp in the preseason. That wasn't based on the one mistake during the game. You don't go off on a guy of that caliber that you just acquired in the offseason with his Hall of Fame credentials and just go off on him like that because he made one stupid play. You don't call him out in a press conference like that. You did that because you're having a problem with him because you don't think he's buying into what you're selling and what your team is selling.
He's tired of stock blocking.
So they got to fix that. But you're talking about Julio Jones with an A.J. Brown, all right, with Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill, say what we want about him, did complete 65% of his passes last year, did throw for 3,800 yards, had 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. We looked at that team, and we understood they lost to Baltimore in the playoffs. They ain't the creme de la creme. They ain't elite. We looked at them in the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago. We knew they weren't going to beat Kansas City. We didn't even expect them to be there. I'm not saying they're fraudulent. I'm saying they are what we've always thought they are. They're good enough to win their division. They're good enough to get to the postseason. But when you look at their personnel, they ain't going but so far. That's what you expect when you see the Tennessee Titans. That's what I expect this year, despite what I saw against them from them against Arizona this past week.
I think the point you made about Tennessee with Arthur Smith is the big point for me, Bart. Like, it's tough. Like, everybody think you just walk in with a new OC or a new DC and everything's supposed to pick up where you left off. It's a different voice, man. It's a different philosophy. And two, we talk about this all the time, SA, from playing the game. In-game situations can't be analyzed because you're doing it off of instinct. and you're doing things throughout the course of a game. If you're a player, if you're a coach, where the situation is dictating how you respond or what you're trying to implement and do. I'm with you on the Titans, man. Like from a defensive standpoint, I've just seen it too many times. It's not that they haven't played good defense in spurts. I've seen too much inconsistency in them playing at a high enough level defensively for them to be Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, we see the names and we understand, but you know, Cleveland went out week 1 and confirmed what we thought, even in a loss. They confirmed what we thought about who they were as a football team. The Tennessee Titans were nothing in the image of what we thought they would be in that first game. And Kyler Murray was phenomenal. Arizona was phenomenal. That defense is better. The Arizona Cardinals are Super Bowl contenders. Like that, and in that division, that's 4 really good teams. But on these Bills, you ain't about to tell me they frauds, Bart. Because I watched that game, and yes, Josh Allen had a bad day, and he didn't want to be patient. But I also saw him miss a throw that I don't think he's going to miss to a wide-open Emmanuel Sanders for a score. I also saw a team that didn't go enough into the run game to soften the Pittsburgh Steelers up and sitting back there in zone coverage, just keeping everybody's eyes back. I think this was more about the Buffalo Bills in week 1. I think this was more about the Buffalo Bills thinking that they could roll out and do the same things they had been doing all season long last year.
Okay.
I don't think this is a fall off from them. And look, this Steelers team and this defense is going to be top 3 in the league. This defense that they played week 1, and boy, you know this from our time playing. Defenses are always ahead of offenses in the first week of the season. Majority of the time, because these guys are adjusting to in-game situations, new personnel, and all of those type of things. I still got the Bills. Like, I think the Bills are going to be an AFC team that somebody is going to have to get past in order to get to the Super Bowl.
Let me throw this to you and Bart here, because y'all played. Y'all would know. Yeah. 2 things. Number 1, you talked about that defensive coordinator, and you got a new voice. And you talk about you can't analyze instincts. You can't analyze players because they're acting instinctually. Let me tell you why I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong because of what y'all teach us as players. Y'all talk to us about the importance of coaching. Y'all talk to us about the importance, not just game planning, but in-game coaching. I understand instincts come with it. Please don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is the emphasis on the importance of coaching and how that usurps, quote-unquote, instincts per se, comes from what players tell us. That's why I use the phrase all the time, I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. I just listen to those who are. I got that from y'all.
Well, go ahead, Bart, and then I'll respond to Stephen A.
Well, when you talk about, you meant to say Arthur Smith, offensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. What happens is you can have the book, but that don't mean you know how to use it the right way. You don't understand the philosophy, the when, the why, the what. And, you know, when you have to do that, you have to make judgment calls. It's not based on past experiences. It's based on what you're seeing for today, what the philosophy of the day is. When you think about Todd Downing, who's replacing Arthur Smith, he has a lot of pressure because this offense had an identity. Now he's trying to mix in the identity of Julio Jones and trying to make him happy as well. So you're trying to find, like we saw this happen a little bit with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady last year when they don't no risky, no biscuit. That's never been who Tom was. So they had to find a healthy marriage. That's what they're trying to find. So now they have an identity crisis in the midst of a beginning of a season when they have high expectations. And when I talk about the Buffalo Bills being a fraud, I just talk about we see them in the light of being a Super Bowl contender. I don't know with what I saw week 1. And listen, maybe Josh Allen's going to fix it. But listen, he's been inconsistent. He's supposed to fix that last year. He can't throw the ball 51 times and only have 30 completions.
Marcus, can I jump in here and change the direction really quick before we have to go to break? Because this is just begging the question for me. So I was really impressed, obviously, with Jameis Winston's performance. That was a surprise of the week, but so was Kyler Murray. But should I temper expectations now? Was it not that impressive if you guys are telling me that Tennessee's defense is suspect? Because I'm thinking this kid goes out there and balls against a Super Bowl contender. Is that not the case?
You shouldn't temper expectations for the Arizona Cardinals. Like that is who Kyler Murray was until he got injured last year. He did that against phenomenal defenses. And I think with a better understanding, I was actually impressed with Cliff Kingsbury a little bit in that game from a play calling standpoint. Last year, to really get football. Last year, Cliff Kingsbury lined up DeAndre Hopkins in one spot for 16 weeks. And there was never any deviation or anything to make you think from a defensive standpoint about what the Arizona Cardinals would do. This week Kyler got what we call zero coverage, right? That's when you send everybody and everybody on the back end is man-to-man. I saw Kyler's maturation with his ability to drift and just throw the ball up and let Christian Kirk run under it. I saw a cover one down in the red zone. When he hit DeAndre Hopkins, he knew it was man-to-man. Those are the things, that's what coaching does. That's an understanding from Cliff Kingsbury of what Kyler Murray is, as opposed to saying, hey, Kyler, I'm going to call this play. If it don't work, just run around and see if you can make something happen. I saw a maturation process between both of those guys, and not to mention what Chandler Jones is going to be defensively.
Hey, man, his money.
Goodness.
Pay him.
He's been that.
Pay that.
Like, he's been that. We talk about the 5 sacks. Chandler Jones has been that guy.
I might have to bring Chandler Jones on the show just to get him, just to market him, so he could get his money. It's ridiculous. He needs to get his money.
Unreal. But Kyler, they couldn't touch him.
You talk about over a 4-year span, he had 52 sacks, so he's been doing it.
Yeah.
He ain't new to this. He's true to this.
We've had his brother on the show plenty of times. We need to have Chandler on too. All right, guys, is in the building. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey, Mark is still here with us. Kimberly, talk to us. The question was, is Dak the quarterback under the most pressure? That's what we talked about last week.
To which I said, how could he be?
Yeah.
How could Dak, of all people, be under the most pressure?
Right.
Because we saw what Dak would do last year. We saw in the first few games, right? And what did we see? What did we see this week? What did we see? We saw Dak come out and be that guy that he was last year, before that horrific, like you said, that injury that pained you to see. We saw that same Dak. So, I mean, I'm just here. I just came in today just so I could hear this explanation. Because
First of all, I'm honored and touched that you would come in to see me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I mean, that's more than Swagoo was willing to do here in Bristol, Connecticut. Good luck with that, by the way. Here's the deal. I'm only playing with you. I'm only playing with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love they need you up there in Bristol. Ain't no doubt about it. But I will say this to the both of y'all, and to you too, Molly.
Okay.
I'm shocked that you would even ask this question to me. You know where am I gonna go, Molly? It's just one game. It's just one game. I mean, what is this that I'm missing?
No. You go competition, and it's the defending champs.
Time out. He showed up against the defending champions. Obviously, he played lights out. I would remind all of y'all, Kimberly, I have been on the record. I was on the record. Am I lying, Molly?
Okay.
Dak deserved his money. I was furious
yes.
when he got hurt because I thought that they were going to use that as an excuse to shaft him and not pay him his money. And I was very proud that Jerry Jones, my buddy, stepped up and gave him that 4-year, $160 million. And he showed up opening night against the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, coached by the GOAT Tom Brady, and showed out. All of that is true. But the question is Dak still under the most pressure? And I'm saying, excuse me, my argument was buffered. Guess why? Let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
If this dude can perform like that against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions with all 22 starters returning, even though they had some injuries in their secondary and what have you, if you showing out against them, you trying to tell me you should be able to beat Washington and Philly and the New York Giants? You trying to tell me you shouldn't be able to beat the Green Bay Packers? Trying to tell me you shouldn't be able to beat the New Orleans Saints? Shouldn't be able to beat Seattle? Shouldn't be able to beat San Francisco or LA or Arizona?
I refuse.
You got to do it.
No.
Do it.
You know why? Because last time I was here last week, I said I would have given you, if you had said Baker Mayfield, I said, you know what? I don't agree, but I could see that. If you had said Carson Wentz, I'd be like, I hear you.
America's team.
But did you see? You know who's under a lot of pressure? Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't expect anything from Mr. Fumble. Mr. Fumble, fumbleitis. He's suffering from fumbleitis.
Now we don't
turnovers,
expect anything
18
from Daniel
fumbles
Jones.
since 2019, the most in the NFL. And both, can anybody expect nothing from Daniel Jones?
This is why, Kim, sometimes you got to go in that nice office he got in New York and spend a little time with him, because you understand what he's doing right now. What he's doing right now is he's trying to set you and I up to talk about the Dallas Cowboys' downfall. That's what he's doing. He's doing.
that he
He's
can run
saying
that
Dak
tape
is
back.
under more pressure because he wants it to be a epic collapse when they have their misfortune and don't get to the Super Bowl or don't make a playoff run. Yeah, you are. Get your damn hand off your chest. I know what you're doing. I've seen this movie 100,000 times, but I'm not falling for it. And I'm with Kim 100%. The player under the most pressure in the NFL is Carson Wentz. It's not even close when we think about what this team and it already was and what the expectation for Carson Wentz is. But let me go back to Dak for a second, just 1 second, because Kim, this is Stephen A's game. All right, let me just let you in. He wants Dak to throw for 400 yards every week. Every week, he wants Dak to throw for 400. He wants the Cowboys to win the NFC East. And in December, he wants Dak to throw 3 interceptions and be the reason that the Cowboys lose. Not because he don't want to see Dak have success, because he don't want Dallas Cowboys fans to enjoy another week of football. He's waiting for it. So, Kim, we not going to fall for this. He know damn well Dak ain't under no pressure. Dak got 160 million reasons not to be under pressure.
Let me tell you why.
Knowing he can play.
First of all, let's understand what I'm talking about pressure. He ain't got no worries about losing his job, losing the starting quarterback position, nothing like that. We know that. We know he's solid. We know he's the quarterback for the foreseeable future for the Dallas Cowboys for years to come because he's that gifted and he deserves his money and he deserves his props. Let's get that out the way. But in all seriousness, Carson Wentz, I'm going to tell you what helps Carson Wentz rather, in terms of pressure. You in Indy, you didn't take the vaccine. You got the whole COVID thing going on. You ain't been around. Plus, you had the toe injury that kept you out. There's a whole bunch of excuses to throw in the direction of Carson Wentz for the time being. You can talk about Baker Mayfield. There's no doubt about that. That's a legitimate case for that. I'm not saying he's under no pressure at all. But the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. They are the one playing in the $1 billion playpen. They are the one worth $5 billion. They are the ones that got all these nationally televised games. And on top of it all, the expectations, not just out of Vegas, but beyond, has them winning the division. We all know how tough it is in the NFC East because no matter what's going on in the division, they find a way to scratch and claw at one another. You cannot sit up there and tell me that Dak Prescott, if this dude ends up not propelling this team to a division crown and some kind of playoff run, that everybody ain't going to be sitting up there, what the hell happened to him? What if he doesn't play well, of course. Of course, if their defense stinks, but he plays well, that's different. But with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, right Ezekiel Elliott,
I know. It's a setup. It's a setup.
You see what's happening right here? You see what's happening? See, this is what makes me so mad at you.
I just came on this
Why wouldn't you attach the same thing you just said to Aaron Rodgers? Why wouldn't you attach the same thing? Molly, we had a whole A block. We had a whole A block. We had a whole A block about all this fine. He's a bad man.
Can I answer the question?
The Green Bay Packers are going to be fine.
Can I answer the question? Can I answer? You huffing and puffing. Can I answer the question? And then give it to Kimberly. Here's how I'm going to answer the question. Well, no disrespect, but Dak Prescott is not Aaron Rodgers. He don't have that resume. And on top of it all, I think it's safe to assume that the Green Bay Packers ain't going to be in the playoffs. We ain't got no questions about that. We ain't worried about that. We know they're going to make it to the playoffs. We know they're going to make the playoffs. That's what they do.
I'm going to call him afterwards.
You know what? No, I get it. Cowboys fans, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I was going to come in here and not deal with any reason. I expected Stephen A. to come in here today and be like, you know what? Emotionally, I was wrong. Emotionally, I was speaking from here when I should have been speaking from here. You know what, Dak? You balled out. My bad, brother.
Kim,
those 3 words, I promise you, will never hear.
I'm rooting against him, guys. I know better.
This is how the Cowboys make him. This is how the Cowboys make him. Because they mean so much to him. He tried to spend 2 hours every other day talking about how much he hated. The Cowboys mean a lot to him. They mean a whole lot. That's why he won't attach the pressure to Aaron Rodgers, who potentially may be in his last year in Green Bay, and the expectation is to win a Super Bowl. But no, It's Dak Prescott is under the most pressure, and he know damn well that ain't the truth.
Producers are going to kill me. We've extended this way too long.
Stop acting like I need the Cowboys to win. Without talking about the Cowboys, I've been winning. Matter of fact, I win more than the Cowboys. It's the truth. It's the truth. I can't stand
Do you hear the music? This is like when people are giving the speeches and they tell them the word show's time's up. Jalen Hurts went into the ATL, laid the smackdown last week. Has Philly officially found their franchise quarterback?
Absolutely. And I thought they found him last year. Listen, last year was an anomaly. They were trying to piecemeal stuff together. Obviously, we know Doug Peterson was dealing with the Carson Wentz situation also while trying to get Jalen Hurts ready. But more importantly, when I look at this game, and it was the Eagles defense the Falcons defense is not really good. The Eagles team is better than I thought they would be as well based on this first week performance. But Jalen Hurts is in his wheelhouse. Like when you watch the Philadelphia Eagles run offense with Sirianni, the head coach, and we all had questions about what this guy would be when we actually got to the season, Jalen Hurts is absolutely comfortable with the offense that he's running because he ran it at Oklahoma. He did a lot of the things that you saw. So at Oklahoma, it was good enough to sit there at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. It was good enough to be in the college football playoff. And everybody can miss me with this. Well, this is the NFL now. College is infiltrated the NFL, especially with quarterbacks when you can put them in familiar situations. What we saw Jalen Hurts do this past weekend is what we'll see a lot of Jalen Hurts do throughout the course of this season because he has a coach that understands what he does well. Just like we talked about with Carson Wentz reconnecting with Frank Reich, and all of those things were supposed to turn into Carson Wentz being resurrected and being the quarterback that we all thought. Why don't we give Jalen Hurts the same grace and say, well, he's in a system now that's conducive to him having success. We've seen that success. We understand what he is from an athletic standpoint. And you see the numbers there, 264, 3 touchdowns. But more importantly, how Jalen Hurts runs this football team. Last year, it was guys talking about his leadership, his ability to get into that huddle, and everybody believed that they have a chance to win the game. There's a lot that goes into being a starting quarterback. He has the talent. He has the things that you need. He seems to have a coach that can put him in a position to be successful, and he has the pulse of this football team. Yeah, they found their quarterback.
I'm not sold yet. I'm not saying that he can't be. I'm not saying that he won't be. I'm saying that I'm not sold yet. The guy completed 52% of his passes last year, okay? He didn't have a great record last year. He starts off this year, and obviously I'm going to give him props for how he looked. I'm also going to give him props for how he won at Alabama, omitting that national championship game performance that led to him getting benched and ultimately led to us discovering Tua Tagovailoa. But the point is that outside of that, he won at Alabama, he won at Oklahoma, but we also saw him in college struggle to throw with accuracy. And that's a big deal for me when it comes to the quarterback position, Marcus. And Molly, you know that about me. Mm-hmm. I'm fixated on that from the quarterback spot. You know I think that Lamar Jackson is a superstar and a stud, but I still question his ability to throw the ball accurately on a consistent basis. That's what I'm looking for. The same position I took with Cam Newton, consistency. The same thing I took with Ryan Fitzpatrick, consistency. Those are the kind of things that I'm looking at. And until I see that, I'm never sold on a quarterback. I take them on a year-to-year basis because the accuracy is something I can depend on. That's not going to leave me. When you're struggling to be accurate, Marcus, that's where I have a bit of trepidation. Now we get to also, what's my other big point that I religiously make, Swagoo? Competition. Has anybody taken a moment to when are we going to acknowledge that Atlanta is awful? They're clearly in rebuilding mode, and Matt Ryan might need to go. We see his numbers, right? And we know he's been around a long time.
It's still.
But it's still, we look at him. They haven't recovered since their Super Bowl loss to New England 4 years ago. I mean, they were up 28-3. They lost a 25-point lead, and they have gone this way ever since. They lost, they made it to the playoffs the next year, but they lost. And then after that, they didn't make the playoffs. And then you see Quinn is out as the head coach, and now Julio Jones is gone, okay? You just look at them right now. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Calvin Ridley. We know those brothers can ball. But I'm talking collectively, whether it's due to injuries, whether it's due to change in coaches, the change in things, schematically and things of that nature, something is missing from the Atlanta Falcons. It's so bad in Atlanta that T.I. came on First Take and was like, I'd give Matt Ryan away. I mean, for a box of cookies, for crying out loud. That's how disgusted they are with this team. And we're not saying that Matt Ryan can't play. What we're saying is something is missing so flagrantly that this team is on a downward slope. And as a result of that, I got to pay attention to that when I look at Jalen Hurts performing this way. Because what's going to happen when you go against stiffer competition, we'll find out. I believe in him, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'll just wrap this up by saying this. In the preseason, we talked about Washington, Cowboys, Giants. Some people said maybe they could do something. Philly wasn't even in the conversation. Philly now back in the conversation. And the Giants are out. And odds makers have noticed. That's after 1 week, though. Keep it rolling here, guys. The most entertaining big man in the history of sports and entertainment, Shaquille O'Neal, joining First Take Live in just a bit. Don't miss him. And Aaron Rodgers didn't look very MVP-like versus the Saints. Does Bart Scott smell more trouble brewing for the Packers quarterback? It's First Take. Stay here.
But I wanted to welcome Pastor Jakes to the show. What's going on? Pastor Jakes, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Preach.
What's up, Lord?
We can have a discussion, Stephen A. Smith. Listen, this is one of the things for me when I watched that game. I felt like the Bills cost them more than the Pittsburgh Steelers beat them. And we can look at games in context, and we can, I didn't think the Steelers were a better football team. I think they made timely plays at the end of the game, and the Buffalo Bills missed those opportunities that were there early in the game to make this a different outcome. So when I look at the two teams and I think about how the Pittsburgh Steelers looked from an offensive standpoint, which I was hoping they looked tremendously better, you don't play. They are playing with fire, thinking that they're going to win games like they won that game against the Buffalo Bills. I don't believe the Buffalo Bills is going to score 16 points or less for the remainder of the season. I think this was an anomaly for the Buffalo Bills. I also think that the Bills missed some opportunities to put the ball in the end zone 2 or 3 more times throughout this game. So that is my ranking. I don't think the Steelers are a bad football team. I think the Steelers are a playoff football team. But when I watched that game and I dissected it for the second time, the Buffalo Bills cost themselves more than the Pittsburgh Steelers beating them.
If I had, if I could, I would take one of them big suits and I'd put it on. And I'd put myself in a beard, you know what I'm saying? Hell, I'd be brave enough to shave my head bald. And then I would all in that. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I'm considering it. I'm considering it. Here's the deal, man. It's amazing to me. I would be like to imitate Marcus Spears. Yeah. They won the damn game. That's what you would say. They won the damn game. Ain't that what the Steelers did? I mean, you got to be kidding me. So the Buffalo Bills show up after Josh Allen, who I like a lot, by the way. I really like that kid. Signs a 6-year, $258 million deal, okay? You got Devin Singletary back there running the football. I like Devin Singletary, right? Still got Stephon Diggs. Last time I checked, got Cole Beasley there, don't you? You got Emmanuel Sanders there, who Josh Allen missed wide open, and we know that probably wouldn't happen again. Okay, they lost the damn game. They gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. The Steelers defense, which is real, which is not a fluke, they showed up, okay? They neutralized Buffalo's offense, all right? And they made a special teams. I'm going like this. So I saw Mike Tomlin give a speech yesterday talking to the press where he's like, yo, man, we ain't resting on our laurels. I mean, we got to take this serious. We got to play better. I don't expect the Steelers offense to be like this again. I recall Chase Claypool being there. I recall Juju Smith-Schuster being there. I recall Eric Ebron and Deontay Johnson and James Washington being up in the mix with Big Ben Roethlisberger. I might have some questions about the offensive line. They're unknown. Whole offensive line is unknown. I give you that. But everything else on the Steelers is bona fide. So with you admitting they are a playoff team, plus they already beat the Buffalo Bills, I'm sitting there like, really? We gonna sit up there and say with a straight face that Buffalo should be ranked higher than the Steelers? Why? Like Molly, you lost your mind?
Yeah. Molly, I got him. Yeah. I got him, Molly.
What?
I got him. Stephen A., who you think better out of the Green Bay Packers and the Saints?
Well, right now, man, I mean, I never said the Saints were bad. I mean, I look at the Saints in that defense, bro.
No.
I'm not dismissing them. I'm not dismissing them. I'm not dismissing them. I'm not dismissing them.
No. Who do you think is the better team out of the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints?
I think the Saints are better.
Really? I don't need to say nothing. I'm
He
good.
can't say
I'm
he's
good.
wrong, but he said the Saints are better. I feel like I should do a lap around this desk right now, but I don't know the COVID protocols. I don't know if I can go near anybody.
Hold on, Molly. Okay, let me explain. Hold on. Hey, Marcus. I'm glad you asked. Let me give you my answer, okay?
Don't walk it back.
I'm not walking it back. The Saints, I believe, got a better coach and better all-around personnel. It's just that Green Bay got a quarterback that I think makes up for it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
All right.
That's where I'm at.
He'll believe
I'm
it.
consistent.
You notice who he's not mentioning anymore? Nobody's mentioning those New England Patriots. They fell off real quick.
Yeah, they were five.
They were on one of your
top
lists.
5.
They're out of your AFC picture.
No, it's not.
No?
No, he picked Buffalo. I'm saying I still believe in New England.
Okay.
You got to remember, and the question I answered about New England, it was the sleeper.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, it was top 5 teams to go to the Super Bowl. They were 5.
And I picked
I
the New England Patriots as my sleeper. I got them possibly winning the division. I got them winning the division.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
That ain't got nothing to do with this conversation.
Okay. You know what? I shouldn't have even distracted us. Let's just go back to the main point. That you think the Saints are better than the Green Bay Packers. And let's just leave it there.
Well, defensively, hold on.
No. Period.
Don't believe that.
Period was that statement by you. Chester Cat
He just
smile.
fought me tooth and nail about no concern for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And this is a Super Bowl team.
Guess what, Marcus?
You ain't gonna
Aaron
make nobody
Rodgers is a
believe
different
that.
subject than the Green Bay Packers.
Marcus, you're the best.
That's what it is.
You've got NFL Live, other things to get ready for.
The better team who we think can lose. That's the point, Stephen A.
I got you.
I'm so proud of you, Stephen A. So proud of you. All right, guys, from coaches.
For the postseason. Make no mistake about it. The roster that they have assembled is all about the chip. They ain't even worried about the regular season. You're going to see LeBron take some nights off. You're damn sure going to see Anthony Davis take some nights off. Russell Westbrook might even take some days off. So might Carmelo Anthony. But in the end, the crew that they have assembled is built for the postseason. I don't see anybody taking out the Lakers in the Western Conference. I know Kawhi eventually will be back. Paul George has been playing like a star. I know Donovan Mitchell is a star. I'm hoping Jamal Murray will get back in Denver's lineup. Michael Porter Jr. has elevated his level of play. All of that does not matter. The Los Angeles Lakers are coming out of the Western Conference and represent the West in the NBA Finals, Molly.
I can't believe you, Stephen A. You forgot your guy, Klay Thompson, the Dubs. But I understand. Yes. That's not the win the whole thing. The Nets are the ones that might stand in the way of that. All right, guys.
Welcome back to First Take. On the line right now, the Diesel himself, the 4-time NBA champion, the Hall of Famer, the one and only Shaquille O'Neal. What's going on, big fella? How you doing?
I'm upset with you.
Upset with me? What'd I do?
But I want to see you FaceTime because I got my boy Tex Johnson here with me, and we got to tell you about them Cowboys.
Oh, please. There you go with that again. So you're going to come on the show, and you're going to get on my nerves by bringing up the Cowboys? That's what you're going to do?
Stay off my Cowboys. I'm telling you right now.
Your Cowboys.
Hold on. Tex, hold on, Tex. Hey, boy, didn't I tell you last time? Stay off them damn.
That's still you. I mean, my God, have you not learned to develop a different voice? I mean, you're ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous. Hey, listen. Before I get into some basketball questions for you, listen, we do HBCU Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we highlight and profile an HBCU school. And I want to ask you, because I know you got a daughter and a son attending an HBCU, Shaquille Amira. Can you talk about that for a second, my man?
Yes, they wanted to attend the HBCU. I think they're like some of the first people in our family to attend the HBCU. I'm very proud of them. You know, for me, it ain't about basketball, it ain't about sports. It's just about education. And, you know, Texas Southern, a lot of great people graduate from Texas Southern. I'm proud of my children. I love my children, and I'm happy for them.
Shaquille O'Neal, I mean, I'm sorry that we can't see your face right now because I wanted to see you just like you wanted to see me. Some technical difficulties. We'll work that out another time. But let me ask you some NBA questions because obviously last week, you know, you spoke adamantly about Ben Simmons because he clearly wants out of Philadelphia. He's not expected to show up to training camp. As you've reflected on some of the things that you said over the last few weeks about Ben Simmons wanting out of Philadelphia, where do you stand right now when it comes to him?
Listen, I said what I said, period, point blank. And I stand by what I said. And again, listen, I'm not a guy that was riding the bus. I was driving the bus. This is how I talk to all my players. And I care about Ben. I love Ben. And, you know, I don't know what type of people he got in his camp, but somebody need to keep it real with him. Work on your game. Work on a little 15-foot. Listen, everything else he does is really good. Great, elite defender, get to the hole, post up guard, all that stuff. But we're going to have to work on that other stuff, brother.
So, with that being said, do you believe that the Philadelphia 76ers should move him? Or do you believe with 4 years left on his contract, the hell with what he feels, he should stay in Philadelphia, and that's the mentality the Sixers should have?
I don't believe he can handle that funk in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Boston, LA, those hard working towns. Listen, the process is over. It might be good for his mentals to go somewhere to start. Because you know how it is in Philly. Like, they don't care about them 18 points. They care about, you know, working hard, playing hard, getting better every year. He's been doing the same thing for the last 4 or 5 years. I think the process is over. So I think for his mentals, for the, you know, Philly, the city of Philadelphia, their mentals, time to do something else. And he clearly stated he didn't want to be there. So, but does anybody want him?
What do you mean, does anybody want him? I mean, I know he can't shoot. If he shoots 75% from the free throw line, he could average 25 a game. And he's clearly one of the elite defenders in the game.
I'm asking you, does anybody want him? I'm not making a statement. I'm asking you because you're, more into this stuff than I am because I'm still on vacation, brother.
Let me transition. Yesterday, I had Carmelo Anthony on First Take. Obviously, he's got his new memoir out. He's got a new book out. Congrats to him. But we were talking about the Lakers and how old they were. And he was like, we built for the playoffs. We'll be ready. We're incredibly confident with what we bring to the table. And it's championship or bust for us. That's how it has to be. Is it championship or bust for the Los Angeles Lakers this upcoming season?
The great Carmelo Anthony was absolutely correct. I have no rebuttal. I have nothing to say. He's absolutely correct. A lot of people always talk about age, but when you show me a young team that's dominated, listen, young teams always make noise, but when they get to the playoffs, what do you always say? Oh, they don't have enough experience. When it comes to the most experience, the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers have the most experience when it comes to age. I'm not worried about all that young talk. Listen, the game is different now anyway. Everybody's just picking and popping anyway, so whoever plays the hardest is, the team that's going to make it. If both teams stay healthy, I would like to see those teams in the finals. But I like Carmelo. He was raised by us. Westbrook was raised by us. LeBron was raised by us. So when they get angry, they play very well. So now they're angry. Everybody's doubting them. They built this little super team. Carmelo Anthony is correct. It's championship or bust.
Well, with Klay Thompson coming back, the Warriors are not young spring chickens. They've got some championship experience. Kawhi Leonard's a champion. He's in L.A. with the Clippers with Paul George and those boys. What about them?
Don't bring up the Clippers. Do not do that. Do not do that.
Why not?
No, sir. What you mean by that? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Why can't I bring up the Clippers?
Golden State, yes, you can bring them up. My favorite player, Steph Curry. Clay is coming back. My main man, Draymond. The young fella, they got some interesting pieces. The way they play, the way they move the ball, that fast-paced game, if they can get it rolling like they used to get it rolling, they're definitely going to be a problem. Listen, don't talk about teams that ain't make it yet.
Okay, fair enough. That's why you told me don't mention the Clippers. Let me transition to the Eastern Conference. Do you see anybody standing in the way of the Brooklyn Nets getting to the NBA Finals this year? Anybody?
Of course.
Who?
The champion. Come on, man. Milwaukee. Let me tell you something. Don't disrespect the champ because, all these teams got all these big name players. Get a champ his due. He did it the right way. He did it the respectful way. I'm going to give that man all the respect until they beat him. The new Superman is going to be a problem in the East, period. I said it.
Well,
hold on. In the words of my boy Big Perk, carry the hell on.
Listen, you got Milwaukee. Miami acquired Kyle Lowry and P.J. Tucker from Milwaukee. They got P.J. Tucker from Milwaukee, okay? So they're joining Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo on those boys. Miami is a threat. Philly is still there. The Atlanta Hawks were in the conference finals. You don't give it. What about those guys?
Those guys will make noise, especially Miami. The culture that Pat Riley set 10, 15 years ago. Eric Spoelstra's still one of the most elite coaches in the league. They're going to make some noise if healthy. But I'm not going to disrespect the champ. I like Milwaukee. I like Brooklyn. Those two are going to battle it out again. 6-7 game series, and may the best team win. Again, in a perfect situation, myself, including with you, and Miss Molly. Hello, Miss Molly. How are you?
Hey, how we doing?
Good. We probably would like to see the Brooklyn Nets versus the LA Lakers in the finals.
The Lakers in the West.
Utah.
Yeah,
you heard us.
Utah with Donovan Mitchell. They got Donovan Mitchell. What else?
Oh, hey, I'm going to be so hard on Rudy this year. Rudy coming with a vengeance.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rudy coming this year.
Okay. Before I let you go, man, listen, Shaq and the Fool. We know how hilarious that is. Shaq and the Fool. I want to know who's your top candidate to win the MVP for the Shaq and the Fool Award this year. Who's the number one guy on your list? Who's that dude?
Is Otto Porter still in the league?
I don't even know. I don't even know. Now, that might have been the funniest of all time when he stood there frozen on the wing as a guy he was defending ran all the way in the opposite end of the court. That was hilarious. I ain't seen anything that funny since.
Wait. I forgot. Chicago Bulls going to make some noise, too. I forgot.
With Lonzo
making
Ball,
a lot of noise.
DeMar DeRozan.
They're making a lot of noise silently. Yes.
Wait a minute.
Chicago Bulls will make some noise.
Wait a minute. You didn't mention my Knicks. They got Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker.
There we go.
You didn't mention my Knicks.
Just like you do when the Cowboys lose, that's what I do when you talk about the Knicks.
I gotta go. I'm talking to you later. And by the way, I got your cereal, with the cinnamon basketball cereal that you got. I got that too, okay?
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Love you. All right, Miss Molly, thank you.
Bye. Good to talk to you.
Laughing at me. Wasn't that cruel?
I mean, it was kind of funny. That cereal is delicious with a little oat milk. It's fantastic. Good stuff. All right.
I was laughing about my Knicks. I don't appreciate that.
Okay, don't be sensitive. Now we got to go from the Big Diesel to the Dieselers. Before you give us your list, please tell me what's a Dieseler, Bart Scott?
A Dieseler? Sounds very corny.
Well, a Dieseler, right, is a diesel engine is really what's in a bus, right? And a lot of things that I heard this week disturbed me, Stephen A. A lot of guys throwing their teammates over the bus. But before you hear the bus and before you see the bus, you got to smell the bus, right?
Oh, Lord.
I smell diesel fuel. And the first place I smell diesel fuel, number 4 on my list, Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman, you've been here. You haven't won an opening game since you've been here. You said you love hog molly. You don't got a hog. You don't got a molly. Well, you know what you got? You got impersonators. You got turkey bacon. You got impossible meat. You don't got no hog mollies. And Saquon Barkley, you told me he was generational. Well, he looked like a mere mortal week 1 because Christian McCaffrey, yes, Stephen A., that bad man looked like Christian McCaffrey. Dave Gettleman, you're on the hot seat. You're number 4 on my Dieseler list. Number 3, Stephen A.
Give it to me.
Number 3.
I'm listening.
Like this man, first of all, Urban Meyer, right? Urban Meyer hired Chris Doyle under a lot of controversy. Then the circus came to town when he brought in Tim Tebow. You know who got fined $100,000 for off-season conditioning? Yeah, that would be Urban Meyer. He had one job, Stephen, one job only. Not to embarrass the organization. Not only did he embarrass the organization, they're the laughing stock. And I tell you what, we know how Urban Meyer gets. He gets tired. He gets fatigued. Guess what just happened? USC coaching opening. Urban Meyer might give them the gas face. He might be out in 2000 and go out to UFC. So right now, Urban Meyer, he's number 3 on the Diesler list. Oh, this one's special for me, right? This is player-on-player crime, right? You're talking stuff to a Hall of Famer. Mike Vrabel got all mad at Quintorris. Y'all call him Quintorris. That's what his grandma called him when he get in trouble. Julio Jones was throwing at the air like Trey or Boys in the Hood, man. He got a penalty, and Vrabel went all at him. How can you go at a Hall of Famer? A guy that just got there. A guy is a guy that you have to buy in to be able to be a Super Bowl contender. Vrabel's got a lot of trouble down there. He got to get Julio back on the boat and towing the line the right way. And number 1, I've been waiting for this one, man. Aaron win all Tropic Thunder this week, man. Listen, we know that this is a marriage headed to divorce, but man, are you gonna burn the house down too, Aaron? First, he threw his offensive line under the bus, saying, "Hey, I threw 2 picks, but let me tell you, so I had people at my feet. I got hit in my jewels." He's looking like Steven Seagal, walking around like Time to Kill. He need to kill all this stuff he talking about, Steve. They almost went full there, right? He went Aaron this week went full Roscoe Jenkins, man. He threw the offensive line under the bus. He threw his head coach under the bus, said, "Hey, it ain't my fault. I confess he did." He pointed all fingers, no thumbs. He went Roscoe Jenkins. You talk about, he said, "Hey, they in cover 2. What are you supposed to do in cover 2? You're supposed to run the ball." Maybe he's right, but you keep that in the house, man. This is the first of many Bart's Diesel list. I smell diesel fuel. Don't back that bust up on me right now, Stephen A.
Number 1, your sneakers are distracting me, but I'm gonna focus anyway.
Yeah, this that flag right here, man.
I'm gonna focus anyway. You threw me off with that. Let's go down the list, okay? First of all, with Gettleman, I'm not trying to come to his defense or anything like that, but we all know the big problem with the New York Giants is Daniel Jones. Now,
who picked Daniel Jones?
I understand that. That was Gettleman, but in the same breath, it could have been somebody else out of Ohio State, like a Dwayne Haskins. That might have been worse. Some people would say.
But he was sucking for a dunk.
I understand that. We can't knock him. You don't expect a man to commit 40 turnovers, 18 fumbles in 2 years. I mean, damn. That's Daniel Jones more so than Gettleman. This Urban Meyer, now this is blasphemous. I would remind you, this is an 85% winner of his game.
Where?
The game
Where?
Coach. Wait a minute. 90% at Ohio State. 90% at Utah, okay? 81% at Florida, 3-time national champion. Don't be disrespectful.
Okay, what's his NFL record?
Now, he's the head coach of Jacksonville. I understand you might have started off a little bit rusty, but you did draft Trevor Lawrence. We all know that you got to build a roster on him, and we can trust Urban Meyer to evaluate talent and do that. And you're right, though.
The man that brought in Tim Tebow,
Wait a minute. And Tim Tebow was gone. All right, we understand that. Gave him an opportunity. You understand? Fan base down there in Jacksonville, near Florida, Gator Nation. That's what he was doing. Business decision. We understand how that goes. We can't completely fault him for that. Not to mention the fact that, again, we'll see what Jacksonville. Remember, he inherited a 1-15 team. Y'all always told me.
They lost to the Texans.
Rome wasn't built overnight. Okay, and Tyrod Taylor, he is a serviceable quarterback. He ain't Deshaun Watson or nothing like that, but he's a serviceable quarterback. He's been around. Mike Vrabel. I can't knock Mike Vrabel for doing what he did. Clearly, Julio Jones, 6 consecutive seasons, minimum of 1,394 yards. Big time, we get all of that. But in the same breath, was hurt last year. You know this better than me because you do your homework. You know the NFL inside and out. You know what they've been saying about Julio Jones down there. Don't want to really practice. Ain't putting in the time and work necessary. I don't know the brother. I love Julio Jones. I'm just saying what they say about him.
Yeah.
There's that word that's been out there about him. So he goes to Tennessee. Let's give Vrabel credit for this. There's no way on earth that he will go off like that just because the brother got himself a 15-yard penalty. Nah. You know there's some backdrop information out there about what's going on since Julio Jones arrived in Tennessee. There's no way that Mike Vrabel, a champion in his own right, would look at a guy like Julio Jones, who you acquired in the offseason, and call him out after game 1 of the season because of one stupid penalty. No, he wouldn't do that. Okay. There's some back information out there that's been going on.
Okay. What about Roscoe Jenkins? This is the Roscoe Jenkins Award. Team of me.
First of all, Roscoe Jenkins was a beautiful movie. Welcome on, Roscoe Jenkins. You understand what I'm saying? My girl Monique and her fabulous self, the great Martin Lawrence, my man Mike Epps in the house and the whole 9, all of that stuff. Love the movie, okay? Got to give credit where credit is due. But in the end, Aaron Rodgers, that bad man that he is, subjected to the nonsensical stuff that he's been exposed to. A coach that don't know as much as he should, a GM that thinks he knows every damn thing, an organization that isn't giving him the respect and the deference he deserves. I understand he went out and wet the bed after game 1, but that's what frustration and misery will do to you sometimes, Bart Scott. He'll make up for it in the days to come, the weeks to come, but right now he's just going through some things. He's Aaron Rodgers. We can give him a pass on that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'll come over. We only got a couple seconds left. Packers losing to Detroit. Monday Night Football?
Could be. Goff looked good. Goff threw for over 300 yards. I know it's a division foe, but right now, something going on in Green Bay.
You think the Lions?
Something like what?
You think the Lions going to beat Green Bay back?
I think it's some infighting, right? And everybody's not buying in. Check that defensive coordinator out. They look bad.
They do look bad. And why is that defensive coordinator there? What did Matt LaFleur bring him there for? I mean, my God, Joe Barry didn't do nothing to Detroit or Washington, and you're going to bring him there in favor of Mike Penn? That's a problem. And by the way, if they had
we'll do it again tomorrow, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a fabulous day. Back at it tomorrow morning.